Good morning, you guys. So last night I'm at dinner with one of my friends who is actively dating. She's on one of the dating apps and kind of looking for men in her age range, which is like in the 50s. So we're going through some of the matches she sees, and she's telling me about some of her dating experiences. And just she's kind of like going through her phone. I happen to check my email, and I see an email from someone who watches my videos, who's also talking about dating on that same app. And he mentioned to me that there's a shortfall in one of my videos called The Rise of Lonely Single Men, I believe, where he recommended that I tell women to stay off dating apps if they're not serious about dating. He says there's so many women in their 50s who are on the dating apps who really just want to be friends, or who really just want to have the attention of having, someone who talked to them online. So I thought it would be fun to just make a short video on what I think goes on with the dating apps and people who are dating. First of all, men do the same thing. There are many men on the dating apps who just send likes, who cancel dates at the last minute, and who don't really want to meet. So it goes for both people. The problem with the dating apps is that they're designed to keep you on the dating app. They're not designed to have you find success in dating. And the majority of relationships still are created by people meeting in real life. Often through friends, meeting someone at a party, meeting someone at a wedding, being introduced to someone you work with, someone you just know in real life. I think that's a better way to meet people. Although I know people can meet online, I think it's a very artificial environment because there isn't like a story of how we met. That often is very grounding. Like, people love to have a story of how we met, and that kind of fuses them. Meeting people in real life, you can gauge their body language, their interest, their intention. You're more actively engaged in the process. When you're online on a dating app, you have to realize that people on there can say whatever they want. You don't know their intention. They don't have to go through a screening process or a resume process. They don't have to submit a photo ID. They don't have to be screened for mental health, for intention, for their honesty, for their credit score, for their parenting skills, and most of all, their ability to be in a healthy relationship. Their ability to have either no childhood trauma or have healed the childhood trauma, that they know how to self-soothe, that they're happy with their lives, and that they know how to repair, because relationships require repair. You will feel rejected by your mate, and you have to be able to self-soothe and repair. None of that is known. You're just looking at a bunch of photos, and a lot of people are not that good taking photos of themselves, especially men. And to lure a woman in, you have to be good with words. But if you're not good with words because you're not a player or a word guy, you might get passed up. The other thing that happens is that people are looking, like this gentleman wrote in the email, and I really agree with this, that relationships and love take time to develop. People are not looking for that. When they're online dating, or even now, people are expecting to meet someone who gives them a sudden rush of euphoria, of feeling loved, of feeling seen, of feeling turned on. They want an instant, exciting feeling from that person. They want that person to be a 10 out of 10 and to feel some instant thing, instant. And real relationships don't usually begin that way. I myself am not interested in dating at all anymore. I think relationships are overrated. And the majority of relationships are not making people happy. They make people feel trapped, stuck, and miserable. I think there are cases where people actually do get along for a lifetime, but I think they're pretty rare. And this idea of relationships for romantic love is very new in our human society. So I think that it only happens to a small number of people. The majority of people get into a relationship looking for this love that they will never find. I think relationships are great for young people who want a family, for people who actually really like each other and have a friendship, for people who want financial security. But I think they're definitely overrated. And so many people get into them looking for an instant feeling that they don't have in themselves, and they're very quick to bail. So if you really are serious about a relationship, my tips are go out with people who are 6 out of 10 and see if they become a 10 out of 10. Go on a second date. Be open to going on a second date. Don't get so turned off so quickly. Don't reject someone so quickly because, they're a different religion than you, or they like a different pet than you. People are just so quick to peg someone as, oh no, this person can never work. Because, again, that's why you're single. One of my friends was telling me about a date she was on where she was really excitedly sharing about something she's very passionate about, one of her hobbies, and this was their second date. They were talking about going somewhere else after the dinner, and he was so turned off by this particular hobby, a health hobby of hers, that he said this could never work, and that was the end of the date. And this is an educated man in his 50s with children. And I'm like, that seemed like cutting himself off too quickly, because he could have just said, I love how passionate you are about this, or changed the subject and said, hey, let's turn that passion into going dancing, or, I love how passionate you can get, or just said, I'm really not interested in that. Instead, he just got himself more and more turned off to the point where he had to end the date. That's an example of people not even having the skills necessary for dating. Also, people starting a date with talking about their trauma. If you need to talk about your trauma on a date, you haven't healed it yet. Like on your first date, you shouldn't need to talk about your trauma, your bad history, what you don't like in women. You should be able to just be present now and have fun and be a healed person. And there's so many people walking around who are not healed. And that's really the problem. That's why I don't believe in relationships anymore. I think most of the people walking around, they look good on the outside, but they have a lot of internal trauma. They don't know how to self-soothe. They don't know how to be alone. And they don't know how to be in relationship, how to connect, how to have proper boundaries, how to self-soothe, how to repair in a relationship. And those are skills that are really well practiced with family members or with friends. So that is my video on why relationships are overrated and mistakes people make on dating sites. So you guys can engage. I don't read the comments anymore, but you guys have at it, and you can leave comments and have your conversations about what you think about it. I, for one, I'm very happy with my single life. Such a relief. Thank you for watching my video.